Vanakkam, Namaskaram, good morning. Dear friends, all we are reading so many books in our life, but only a few books will be attracted and make us read it again and again. From the childhood, I read so many books in Malayalam, Tamil, English, and often in Hindi, Telugu, Kannada also. Especially, I will read books in Malayalam and Tamil. And I write most of the books in Tamil. Among the books, I like a few very much, and I will read again and again. Among those books, two are my most favorite books. One, Tirukkural. Second one, Ponniyin Selvan. Already I made a simple explanation for Tirukkural in the name of Tirukkural Eliyakural in Tamil and translated it to English also. For Ponniyin Selvan, I made a screenplay and actually I tried to make it as a film seeking some producers. At that time only, I came to know that the popular director, Mr. Maniratnam, is making the novel as a film. So now I am waiting for the release of his film to tell my version only after that. In the meantime, I would like to tell it as a story to my friends to encourage them to hear stories in English and speak English. I selected this book as a tool to encourage my friends to speak English. Ponniyin Selvan is a historical novel, which means the story based on the historical characters and incidents. This is written by late Mr. Kalki. The story happens in the 10th century of AD, around 950. Kalki wrote this novel in the 20th century, around 1950, in Tamil. Ponniyin Selvan is the most popular novel. Even today, even after more than 70 years, this is the best seller every year in the book fairs. Ponniyin Selvan book had been published by so many publishers in different styles, size, etc. Even today, new readers are coming to read this novel. The readers already read this novel, reading the novel again and again. All these are happened only because of the writing style of Kalki. His language, his storytelling style made it most attractive book in the Tamil literature. It is totally a fiction, just based on the incidents and characters in the history. He made so many imaginary characters and incidents in this novel. But nobody can differentiate the historical characters or incidents and imaginary characters and incidents. Even some scholars researching in the history confused with the imaginary characters made by Kalki. That is the power of his language. That made it most popular book in Tamil. He made this novel as a screenplay, visual treatment. That's why so many celebrities in the film field tried to make it as a film. From our beloved Purashi Talavar MGM. After Nadoli Mannan, he tried to make it as a film. But because of some other reasons, he couldn't make it. After that, so many other celebrities also tried to make it as a film, even our Kamala Hassan. And director Maniratnam also tried to make it as a film a few years ago. At that time, he couldn't make it. But after some years, again he tried and now he is making it as a film. Ponniyin Selvan means son of Ponni, Ponni River, the other name of Kaveri River. This is another name of Rajaraja Chola. You may know the big temple in Tanjavur, Periyakoil, was constructed by the Rajaraja Chola. He is the most popular emperor in the Chola dynasty. This Ponniyin Selvan novel tells some years of his life before the construction of the big temple, younger years of his life, and it deal with some other characters and incidents related to Rajaraja Chola. This is a huge novel spread over 5 parts, 5 big books. So we could not summarize as a short story or synopsis. If we made it as a synopsis, it will not be interesting. We can't tell as it is here. So I'm going to tell it in a shortened style, shortened version. And I'm going to tell it slowly because our aim is to reach all my friends studied and studying in the regional language high schools, and they should understand this simple English. That's why I am using the simple English in a slow way. If anybody have any doubt on the words or sentences, if you feel it as rough or tough, please comment your opinions. Of course, I could not reply each and every comments, but in the future episodes, I will surely simplify the words and sentences. I will never bother about the grammar because we are not taking class for English. We want to tell it in English as my friends understand. If I tell it to my friends studied or studying in the regional language, others also can understand. If I tell it in a high standard as the scholars or English speaking friends can understand, these friends may not be able to follow that. So remember that. If anybody want to read the book in Tamil in detail as it is in the novel, you can follow our site filmfriendship.com. Every chapter will be uploaded parallel to this story. So, dear friends, now let us enter into the story. To enter into the story, we have to go back to the 10th century, a fine evening on the 18th day of Adi month, Adi Perukku. You may know the importance of 18th day of Adi. Usually, rain will come continuously in the Adi month. Even today, we are experiencing that. So, you just imagine what the volume of rain in those days. At that time, there were no concrete jungles, only greeneries. So, you can imagine what the volume of rain coming in the Adi month. On the day of 18th of Adi, every river, ponds, and lakes will be flooded with water in total Tamil Nadu, especially in Chola Empire, because Chola Empire was filled with the Kaveri River and its branches. The public, the citizens, will celebrate the 18th day of Adi as Adi Purikali as a thanksgiving to the Kaveri River, Mother Kaveri. So, on that day, the public will celebrate the function on the banks of rivers, ponds, and lakes, etc. At that time, in the evening time, our hero, a soldier in the Chola army, Vandiyathevan, was riding his horse on the banks of Veeranarayana Eri, the lake. In recent time, it is called as Veeranam Eri. The name converted to Veeranam Eri. Our hero was traveling from Kanchipuram. As he traveled a long distance, the horse had been exhausted, totally tired. As a good soldier, Vandiyathevan can understand that. That's why he didn't hurry up the horse. He let it walk slowly and he watched the scenery all around the lake. Water came from the branches of Kaveri and the water spread to the adjacent farmlands through sluices. He counted the number of sluices as he already heard about that 64 sluices were on that lake. He praised the ancestors, the Chola emperors, made the lakes to flourish the agriculture in the empire. At that time, Chola dynasty was at its peak. Vijayalaya Cholan had started the second dynasty of Chola empire. In that dynasty, so many emperors were popular and powerful. One among them was Sundara Chola. Sundara Chola had three children. Elder one, Aditya Karikara. He was the prince of that time. Second one, a girl, Kundavai. Third one, Arun Modivarman. He is later called as Rajaraja Chola. Ponniyin Selvan. Our hero, Vandiyathevan, is coming from Kanchipuram, where Prince Aditya Karikara was commander-in-chief of the northern wing of Chola army. When Vandiyathevan watched the scenery all around, he could see the public celebrating the Adi Perku on the banks of the lake also. He enjoyed the beauty of the functions. When he slowly riding his horse, he saw a few boats are coming over the lake. He sincerely watched the boats. He wanted to know who are coming on that boat. He couldn't understand. So he asked a man standing nearby, who are coming on that boat? The man looked at his face as surprised. Don't you know what is the symbol on the flag on the boat? It was palm tree. Palm tree is the symbol of Palvetaraya. Don't you know? Like that, the man replied. When the boats are reaching to the banks of the lake, some soldiers jumped from the boats in the beginning and made the public there to give away for the celebrities coming from the boats. One day they were surprised to hear the reply of the man. He already know about Pazhavataras. From the time of Vijayalaya, the royal family of Chola emperors have maternal relationship with the Pazhavatara family. They are also kings, subordinate kings of Chola Empire. They fought so many wars for Chola Empire. Pazhavatarians are the second most powerful persons in the Chola Empire, next to the royal family, emperor's family. They have the power to impose tax on public and subordinate kings, to collect the tax and spend to the expenses of the empire, to the public, to the war, etc. So every subordinate kings and the public have respect toward Pazhavatara. And at that time of the story happens, two brothers were in the Pazhavatara family. பெரிய பழுவேட்டரையர் and சின்ன பழுவேட்டரையர். Elder பழுவேட்டரையர் and younger பழுவேட்டரையர். They are very much popular for their bravery and strength. They fought so many wars for the Chola Empire. As a soldier in the Chola army, Vandiyathevan heard about both the brothers. When he was in the war front, he will talk to his friends again and again. He want to meet at least once the Pazhavatarians. Now he had a chance. He surprised to know that Pazhavatarians are coming on the boats. Either elder or younger brother will be in the boats. Vandiyathevan had a excitement to go forward and meet Pazhavatara. But at that time, he remembered the words of his leader, commander, Prince Aditya Karikaran. When Vandiyathevan started from Kanchipuram, Prince Aditya Karikaran specially give an advice or warning, whatever it may be. He bring Vandiyathevan to a side and told him, dear friend, I heard some bad news from the capital, Tanjavur and Pazhavara, etc. I couldn't understand or came to a decision to conclude the things. I want to know the real facts. I don't have any belief on anyone. I don't know whom to depend or believe. So you go to Tanjavur and meet my father, Sundarachola, and go to my sister, Kundavai. She is in Pazhavara. Kundavai is very much popular for her brilliancy. Everyone told that if she was a man, she will be the most popular and powerful emperor in the Chola dynasty. Aditya Karikaran also know that. That's why he want to know the facts from the sister and father. So, dear friend, you go secretly. If can, don't tell that you are coming from my side. On the way, you might face some hurdles or problems. Whatever happened on the way, you please don't react to the problems. Don't interfere in any other's problems. Especially, you keep silent. Be careful when face the people related to Pazhavatarians and my uncle Madhurantaka Chola. You please keep silent, even you had been humiliated by others. I know very well about your bravery and strength. So you don't try to prove yourself or prove your bravery. I know very well that. So please be careful. That was the warning or advice of Prince Aditya. Remembering that, Vandiyathevan get back to his conscience, avoided the excitement to meet Paivatars. To avoid any other situations there, he immediately turned his horse and started to move fast. He ride his horse fast toward the nearest town, Kadampu, because it is already the evening time. So he has to stay in the town in the night to restart his journey to Tanjavur next day. So he ride his horse fast to Kadambur and he traveled on the highway.